Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So of course you know Shalika knows sports, all right? So of course you know tomorrow that the United States is playing the Netherlands in the World Cup, the quarterfinal World Cup. And also Australia and Argentina plays tomorrow. I do know this. I think Switzerland won today. And I do definitely remember, and I think North Korea won today. And so I think it's going to be interesting moving forward. Let's root on America, the United States in this World Cup tomorrow. And then, of course, Argentina and Australia plays, and that should be a pretty good game in the World Cup. But I am actually here, okay, to give a breakdown. Now, listen, I know it's a lot of things happening in the sports world. I know that basketball is just now starting to pick up, of course. One of the games that I'm checking for tonight is the Pacers versus the Jazz. I think that's going to be too good. That's going to be a good game, actually. The Pacers versus the Jazz. You got Halliburton, of course, and then you got Jordan Clarkson and Mike Conley, and them playing for the Jazz. Lauren marketing, all of them are playing for the Jazz, and so I think this should just be a really good ball game by two clubs that nobody expected to see be playing as well as they are at this point. Of course, my Grizz and the Jazz, and the 76ers play tonight as well, and so. DeAnthony Melton will come back home for the first time. And I expect that shouldn't be much of a game. I expect the Jazz to win in really good fashion because Joel Embiid, from what I understand, is still not playing. And nor is Tyrese Maxey. So it's going to be interesting. Now, I do know they still have Tobias Harris and Harden and all those guys. And I don't even know if James Harden is back or not. Or because I don't think he played the last couple of times. But Joel Embiid is everything. He's the lifeline of the 76ers. And so I just don't expect that would be that much of a game. So I expect the Grizzlies to win in good fashion. The game that I'm most checking for outside of that Pacers and Jazz game is Chris Middleton returns tonight against the Lakers for the Bucks, okay? So this is going to be interesting to see what he looks like. He's been gone for a long time. He's what the Bucks have been asking for, and the Bucks are already playing pretty good without him. I think they're 14-5, and so they're already playing pretty well. Giannis is playing really well without him. You know, him, Jrue Holiday, those guys. But to see what Chris Middleton looks back in that lineup could be very scary. So I'm interested to see what Chris Middleton looks like. Will he be a shell of his former self, or will he really be the Chris Middleton? I do expect rust. I do expect him to have some rust in that game, but needless to say, he returns against the Lakers tonight, and I think that game comes on at 7. Now, for my main event, of course, because now we're into the peak of football season. We have about 5 games remaining, and for me, it's some big-time games coming up on Sunday, okay? The top of my list, at the top of my list, of course, is the Jets in Minnesota. Defense versus offense. Can Sauce shut down Justin Jefferson? That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. What that matchup is going to be like, okay? Because Sauce been out there saucing. Justin Jefferson been out there. That's the game I'm checking for. I'm checking for that matchup specifically. What is that going to be like? Okay, because that's what your girl is checking for, okay? And then we have a divisional game. Washington Commanders, they've been hot lately, okay? They have got Taylor Heineke back there doing what he does so good, throwing up 50-50 balls is what I'm saying. But the kid got a lot of moxie. I like him a lot better than I like Carson Wentz. He just plays with a lot of moxie. I like him a lot versus those Jets, okay? And you got my man Danny Dimes back there, you know, and the Giants. You got Danny Dimes back there playing. And we know how Danny Dimes does. So it's going to be interesting to see what that game is like. And that is a division game, so I expect that game to be close in good fashion. I have not picked a winner for that game. I have not picked a winner for the Jets game either, okay? And don't forget, Mike White is playing for the Jets now. And so we go on. We're going to have Tennessee versus Philly. So the Eagles got these 2 running teams, okay? You got a running game for the Eagles versus a running game for the Tennessee Titans. Who shall prevail? That's going to be an interesting matchup. A lot of these games I can't even call. I want to be able to call them. I can't call them because I think it could go either way, just depending on the Sunday. Y'all know football is any given Sunday, and I'm telling you, it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like. Now, Deshaun Watson, his first game back against Houston. I expect that to be I expect this is the game. He's going to have some rust because he ain't played in y'all almost 2 years. So I expect there to be some rust with Deshaun Watson. But here's what I do know. If you're going to have rust, the game that you want to have rust in is against your old team who is not looking good at all. Okay? So I expect that if he's going to knock the rust off, he's going to knock it off in this game. This is the game where you figure it out, Deshaun, because you're not going to get it no easier than this one, okay? So Houston versus Cleveland also happening on Sunday. Will Geno Smith be able to I said Geno Jennings. If Geno Smith be able to bounce back this week versus the Rams, that's going to be an interesting game. The Rams, they want to win because they don't want to continue looking bad. But Seattle needs to win to get a bounce back to remain in the top of the division race and possibly steal that wild card spot in the NFC. Now, what I felt like should have been the 8 o'clock game tonight, or one of the 8 o'clock games on Sunday night, Miami versus San Francisco. Woo! Who is going to do what? That is a game that I have been talking about all week. Kyle Shanahan versus Mike McDaniels. Who is going to out-chess who? Two very potent offenses. Two people that have worked together. Two coaches that have worked together for a long time that knows each other's tendencies. I don't have a clue to what's going to happen. Miami looks good. San Francisco looks good. Honestly, y'all, that should have been the 8 o'clock game. But they put them Cowboys at the 8 o'clock game. I know they're America's team. But the Miami Dolphins and the San Francisco 49ers should have been the 8 o'clock spot on prime time Sunday night. And if we didn't see them at 8 o'clock, we should have saw Kansas City and the Bengals at 8 o'clock. But one of those two games should have been 8 o'clock. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? That should have been an 8 o'clock game. Because y'all been flexing a lot. So that should have been an 8 o'clock game because, woo, that's going to be a good matchup, okay? I guess in hindsight, though, nobody expected Miami to be this good, okay? And so I guess in hindsight, they didn't think it'll be a good thing, and nobody expected the Colts to be this bad. So the Colts versus the Cowboys should have been a decent game. So nobody expected them to be as bad as they are. So I think in hindsight, I guess I could kind of see where it came from, but still, Miami, San Francisco, that's a game that I am going to watch because I am interested to see how that's going to go down. Kansas City versus the Bengals. Joe Cool doing what Joe Cool does. Patrick Mahomes doing what Patrick Mahomes does. I'm looking at two teams that in a weird way are really mirror images of each other because the Bengals can get out there and score very quickly. Kansas City can get out there and score very quickly. Joe Cool can make some really good plays down the stretch. Patrick Mahomes can make some really good plays down the stretch. So it's gonna be interesting. Like that's gonna be a good game too. And I think that what's my man name? Lord have mercy. He coming back this week from the hip injury. Lord have mercy. Jamar Chase is coming back from the hip injury supposedly this week. So I think he'll be playing in this game on Sunday. I'm pretty certain that he'll be back in this game on Sunday. They are saying that he's coming back from the hip injury. Hopefully he'll be able to play. He won't be ruled out. And I'm telling you, I don't know, T. Higgins with Jamar Chase back. I don't know. They got some good games on Sunday, okay? And then, of course, nobody's checking for the last game. You got two teams that have underperformed, the Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders. Two teams that have underperformed with two supposedly offensive-minded coaches that have definitely underperformed. Staley has underperformed with the Chargers. There's no way you got Justin Herbert as your quarterback and y'all look no better than that. Okay? Las Vegas Raiders, y'all should have been winning in spite of. I told people they were going to win in spite of Josh McDaniels. Now, they have, look, Josh Jacobs has been running his tail off. Josh Jacobs, by the way, plug, if I'm you, I wouldn't resign with the Las Vegas Raiders next year. Let me tell you why. They told you to go out there and prove that you deserve that contract. They didn't even see your value. My mama always told me, go where you want it. Go where you want it, not where you tolerate it. Go where you want it and not where you tolerate it, okay? Because right now it look like they tolerating you. But then you have been the lifeline of what they've been doing with the Raiders. Go where you want it, baby. Don't re-sign with them. Go where you want it. Go get your bag. Go get your check. Go get your paper and move on and go to where you want it, and you're going to be appreciated. Because the Raiders, they did dirty. They did, you know what I'm saying? They did you dirty, okay? Go on somewhere else. Go on somewhere else. I ain't got nothing else to say about them. And they did my man Rich Bisaccia dirty. Rich Bisaccia, whatever his name is. They did him dirty. He should have been the coach this year. And I believe that karma always comes back, okay? Which is why we saying what we saying. Karma always finds its space. And you don't do folk right. And when you don't do right, that stuff comes back and bites you in the butt. That's just my word. That's just what I'm saying. But it is what it is. But needless to say, the 8 o'clock game is the Colts versus the Cowboys. I think that the Cowboys, the Colts are a disaster. I like Jeff Saturday. I think that what he's doing with the offensive line, because that has been the main issue. I think he's done, because he was an offensive lineman. So the things that he's done with this offensive line in a shorter period of time, I've actually seen a lot of progress. But I just don't think it'll be enough, especially with Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is a dog. He's a dog, okay? And I just don't see it ending well, okay? I just see Matt Ryan getting sacked a bunch of times, and Micah Parsons having a field day with that Dallas defense. That's what I see. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And as always, y'all, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Your girl got to get subscribers. Y'all know, I know what I'm talking about. Shalika knows sports. I'm telling y'all, subscribe to the show, because I'm telling y'all, I'm going to give it to you straight. Okay? I'm going to give it to you straight. Listen, I said I wasn't going to pick no winners for this game, but here's what I'm going to do. Okay? I can't give y'all no score predictions, but I'm going to tell you who I'm picking. I think Minnesota versus the Jets. Who y'all pick? That's going to be a hard game, but I'm going to go with Jets, Jets. I'm going with the Jets to win that game. The Giants versus the Washington Commanders. Whoo. Washington's been on a streak lately. I think the Giants are looking to bounce back. The Giants really need to win this game. I'm going to go with the Giants. Philadelphia versus Tennessee. Now, I think that the Eagles have a pretty good run defense, I think. I don't know. I think, well, from what I've seen, but I do know Philly's got some injuries. I just think that Philly is one-dimensional, meaning if Derrick Henry isn't out there, then it doesn't really work. So for that reason, I'm going with Philly. Okay? Houston versus Cleveland. I'm going with Cleveland. Seattle versus the Rams. I think that the Rams are just a disaster. They're a disaster. I think that no matter how good your defense is, if your offense can't keep the defense off the field and give them a rest, it's just not going to work. I think that Geno Smith bounces back this week, and I'm going with Seattle. Miami versus San Francisco. I have to pick a winner. Listen, here's the interesting thing about this game. With Miami versus San Francisco. If San Francisco's pass rush is able to get after Tua, and considering all the drama that Tua has gone through this year which I think they'll be able to do with Nick Bosa and them boys. I think they'll be able to get after Tua. If Tua gets sacked once or twice, I think it'll throw him out of it. He's tough now. He's tough as nails. Tua is tough as nails. And I think it may throw him out of a rhythm. And if that happens, I think that San Francisco will win. And because San Francisco is much further behind. Ooh, this is a tough one. Because it's hard to root against Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, but it's all dependent upon can they get after Tua, because their success in this game is going to be dependent upon Tua's health. How healthy can Tua be this game? I think that San Francisco is able to penetrate, get after Tua, rattle him. He may not even, and unfortunately, and I don't even want to say this because I don't want to speak no evil on Tua because I feel like Tua has been through enough. But I think that if Tua gets hit, they'll take him out simply because of all the drama that surrounded him this year. Teddy Bridgewater will end the game, and San Francisco will go on to win that game. Kansas City versus the Bengals. Chris, you know what? I will give Kansas City this. Their defense has gotten significantly better with Steven Spagnuolo this year. I am very impressed with how well their defense has played this year. Chris Jones is looking really good. He's looking like a monster. And I'm really, really impressed with how far Kansas City's defense has come. I just think that even though the Bengals got Higgins and Jamar Chase is coming back, I think it could be a shootout, but I still think that Patrick Mahomes has just too many weapons. And I'm going to go with Kansas City. I'm sorry, Bengals. That was a hard choice because I feel like y'all are mirror images of each other, but I still think I'm going to go with Kansas City, and Kansas City wins that game. And in terms of Las Vegas and the Chargers, let's see here. I don't know. I think that the Chargers have to win. I think that what Josh Jacobs was able to do last week was, I feel like, not a fluke because Seattle's run defense is really not that great. But I think that the Chargers have to win this game because Brandon Staley is on the hot seat already. And I think that the Chargers win that game this week. That's what I'm going with. So my picks for this week is the Jets, the Giants, the Eagles, Cleveland, Seattle, San Francisco, Kansas City, and the Chargers. And then, of course, in the nights, I'm going with the Cowboys, of course. So I got to go with the Cowboys. And then there are some other games playing too, but these are the games that I think are going to have the best potential. If I had to pick the best games that I was watching, be definitely Miami, San Francisco, Kansas City, and the Bengals. And those would be my top two picks. And I guess if I had to pick a third game, I think the Jets versus Minnesota and Tennessee versus Philly would be an honorable mention. But those would be the three games that I would say I got to watch. So now, as always, guys, tell me what you think. Who do you think this week's winner is going to be? What do you think about these games? What should I be looking for in these games? Y'all, look, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, okay? And as always, you know your girl is always looking to talk any type of sport. Y'all leave me comments, like, share, subscribe, because it does help me with the YouTube algorithm. And as always, y'all know, always what I say, Shalika knows sports. Always have, always will. That's your girl signing out. See ya.